From the castle gates to bedtime tales, laughs on the road and the monorail meet up on Main Street. Oh, Epcot to raise a glass and clink, telling old trip stories over one more drink. DisDad intro, here we go, talking parks, kids, all the magic we know. DisDad intro, hit play, let's start the show. Hey, DisDad intro.
Welcome to DisDad Intros, the show where we get to know the voices, stories, and Disney passions behind the DisDad Club. I'm your host, Justin West, fellow dad, Disney fan, and proud member of this incredible community of fathers who love their families, and maybe just happen to love a good Dole Whip too. This is DisDad Intros. Let's meet today's guest, Terrence Hawkins. How are we doing today, Terry?
Doing great, Justin. How are you doing today?
Not too bad. I'm glad to have you aboard. I'm really enjoying getting to know all the dads and hopefully helping all the dads get to know each other. So
Yeah. So I'm really glad you brought these back. And I love this format. You're doing a great job.
awesome. So Terry, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about yourself, where you're from, and a little bit about your family.
Sure. I'm Terry Hawkins. I'm one of the Canadian DisDads here. Where I'm from, well, right now I live in St. Albert, Alberta, out on the western end of Canada. But originally I'm from a town called Cambridge Bay. You can find that much closer to the North Pole than to where I live now. Actually, it's quite a ways up there, one of the Arctic islands.
Interesting.
So, yeah. What else about me? Divorce is finalizing next month, so have a little drink for me next month. 2 kids, wonderful kids. Some of the dads have met each of them. They were all there at the very first convention, and I brought them each down for a different convention along the way. Yeah.
Okay. Great. So Terry, then what is it that you're doing for a living?
Yeah. I'm a travel advisor. So I book cruises and Disney trips and small group tours, that sort of thing. It's pretty quite a lot of fun. Get to dream about a lot of places along with my clients. So
I know following you on Facebook, it's fun to see where your adventures are taking you. You're in for some long trips at times.
yeah, it's been a crazy year of travel, all work related, or almost all work related. Couple ones in there for fun, but yeah, it's all good. Enjoy it for sure.
Awesome. So where did you discover the DisDads first, and how long have you been a part of the group?
I see. I like many guys. I discovered it back in the Disboard days. Well, I joined the Disboards around 2010, so I think I found the DisDad group would have been 2011 or 2012, which Facebook wasn't really around back then. Kind of crazy to think about that. You know how much of a part that plays in our lives today, but back then it was the Disboards.
Yeah, for sure. It certainly has taken a turn. I think it makes it more easier in some respects and harder in other respects to follow along everything that's going on with the group.
Yeah, it's got its pluses, it's got its minuses for sure. I think we're all on it because it's the easiest, not the best. It's just the
I
easiest format to use.
I could concur with that. I think it's the format that most people are familiar with. So when did you first go to Disney World or Disneyland?
Okay. First trip to Disneyland would have been about 1976. Went there, and then my first trip well, it was just the Magic Kingdom back then, Christmas of 1979. So they were still building Epcot back then.
Okay, yeah, you've been hitting the parks for a while.
Well,
So
there was a really long break there. After that trip to the Magic Kingdom, I didn't go back until around 2000. So there was
okay,
quite a long break.
okay. So The question is, where does your love of Disney come from? I struggle with that a little bit, the question, because I feel like I'm leading people to say that they love Disney. I don't. I mean, I would assume if you're part of a group called the DisDads that you do, but people's feelings about the company and things have changed. So
That's true. You, I actually love the company too. I understand what it is. It's a large multinational, what the world's largest media company. So, but it still kept some sort of soul to it, more so than any other large company out there. So I love it for that. But I think, my love for Disney really it's come from the same place the other guys, a lot of the other guys have said. It's a place you can just put the world aside when you walk in. All the stresses that you have day to day, you walk into that Disney bubble and the rest of the world disappears. There's been some pretty major news events that have happened while I've been inside the bubble, and I've been completely unaware of, which is not a bad thing.
it's always nice to disconnect from the busyness of the world at times. So,
Yeah, yeah, you can just feel the weight of it lift off as you drive underneath that sign, or you know, love it.
so do you have a favorite memory from the parks?
Favorite memory.
There's so
There's a
many, I'm
lot.
sure, but
Yeah, there are. I kind of divide them up into different areas, I guess. Family trips, each of my kids' first visits, those are my favorite memories with them. Every DisDad club convention has a separate favorite memory for me. But if you really push me, there's one moment, one brief moment that always comes to mind that really highlights what my love for Disney is, my passion and my addiction, I guess. I was in the Hollywood studios at the animation courtyard, and there was a guy coming out of the Little Mermaid shop there, and he had in his hands this autograph book. And I don't know if it was for his daughter or his niece or whatever, but there's a look on his face that I caught for just a second, and that look was just pure, utter joy. Like that, what he bought for that child is going to be the best gift that kid has ever gotten. And I knew immediately that that's not going to be the reality when he hands that gift over to that child. It's not going to meet those expectations. But I was able to capture that moment and share that real joy and excitement that he had. I don't know his name, never, you know, but that moment keeps me going. It's like that spark. It's a jolt of joy, and sometimes you can catch it on other people's face in the parks. It's not every trip for sure, but sometimes you just see that pure awe in somebody's face, and it's like a drug. I understand why cast members go as college students and are there 30 years later, you know, still
I
working.
I could
It's not
say
because
I could see that. I mean, I've always said that my dream retirement job would to be like a boat captain or something. I don't know nothing
yeah,
about boats or anything like that, and I'm sure that my resume isn't going to lend me to into that kind of position, but
it'd be a lot
that
of fun though.
it would be a lot of fun and just to be around people coming for the excitement of being at Disney World. I think you'll see some ugly things at moments, but for the most part, you're going to see a lot of people being being happy and some love from that, and it's fun to be around.
Yeah, for sure. There's far more love and happiness there than there is the other side.
Right. All right. Well, this I think if people who know you probably know the answer to this question, but what's your favorite park and why?
Animal Kingdom, best park. It's supposed to be a slower paced park, and I love it for that. Back in its heyday, I could spend half a day just in the Oasis. That's the entry for those people that don't know. You go through the turnstiles. That's that whole wooded entry there before you get to the street. That's called the Oasis. And back in there, there were all sorts of animals and cast members that were you could talk to. And I could spend half a day there in the Oasis talking to it. Plus, Animal Kingdom's got the two best places to get drink in any park, Dawa and Nomads. However you rank them, they're both fantastic. You do one in the morning, one in the afternoon. That's a pretty good day. Animal Kingdom's got the best quick service, Flame Tree Barbecue, the best bartender in Bob, two of the best themed lands, Africa and Pandora. Flight of Passage consistently ranks in the top 3 or 4 rides in all of Walt Disney World. Lion King's the best show, and they still have some of the best live entertainment. And they have the only safari that you can go on that features octopi.
Nice.
So those
Nice.
are at the last convention. You'll get it.
Okay, I mean, I knew that was going to be your answer, but I like to hear all of the reasonings behind it, and personally, I don't know that I have a favorite park. I like them all for different reasons, um, and so it's hard.
Oh, that's
I
true.
can
Yeah.
I can tell you the one I visit the most, like I most apt. If you say you can only go this day, I typically would end up in Epcot, but I can
Yeah.
see there's downsides to that park as well. So it's all good. So do you
Yeah.
have a favorite ride?
See, it's a tough one. Pirates of the Caribbean is always my first ride. That goes back to when I traumatized my oldest kid when they were like 2 years old. So always have to do that one first. It's just my tradition. It's also the only ride where we as DisDads have had to row our own boat. So that's always got a great memory.
I didn't know they came with oars.
They don't, but it's surprising what 17 guys can move just by throwing their bodies against the the railings there. Yeah. But my favorite ride, I think, is Peter Pan. You know, I don't do Peter Pan every ride or every trip, but whenever I do, I'm flying. That ride is just such a classic, and you get on it and you're flying. It's my favorite ride.
Yeah, it's that one is a different feeling. The
Yeah.
the suspended track and here we go like that. I mean, it's yeah.
Right. It just brings you back. You're a little kid
It,
and you're flying out that window and
maybe not the
and
most
over
exciting,
London.
but it definitely gives you a certain feeling that you don't
Yeah.
get from many other rides. So, all right,
And the
well,
technology for that is what, 70, 80 years old? Like,
yeah. I mean, that that's incredible.
yeah.
Terry, do you have a favorite food item or drink
Mhm.
or restaurant or one of each? I know it could be
Yeah.
hard to.
Yeah, it's tough. Best meal I've ever had in the park or in Disney. Best meal I've ever had, period, was at Victoria and Albert's. But that's not exactly something that's doable more than once or twice in a person's lifetime,
Mhm.
or most of us. Outside the parks, the yakisoba noodles over at Ulume at the JW Marriott. Those are the best noodles I've ever had anywhere, including in Japan. You can pair those noodles with a sake flight, and you're going to have a fantastic night. I can go with the Magritte's pipe. That's also pretty good, but I myself prefer the sake flight to pair it with. But inside the parks, for sit down, can I go with Be Our Guest from 2013, Justin? Or it's got to be a current restaurant because
This is your answer. It's I mean,
back,
obviously
back, yeah,
the
when Be Our
parks are
Guest
not
was actually
static,
good.
right?
Yeah,
They're ever evolving, and there's a question that is coming up that will kind of get to that too. So
yeah, yeah. I loved that back when it opened. That was really good. But Skipper's Canteen right now for sit down, the uniqueness of the food and the decor in there and the cast members, I really enjoy that experience.
so outside of Disney, do you have any hobbies that you like to enjoy or have time for?
You touched on it earlier. I travel a lot. There's been too much of it this year, but I love meeting new people, seeing new places. I love the whole movement of travel. Not the flying end of it. I can go on for a while about flying, but the rest of it, I just love that experience of movement. Yeah.
Nice, nice. It's something that I hope to be able to do more as as I transition in a few years into a different stage of life, and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure. Travel when you can. That's always encourage that, it's, yeah.
So I have this question is I'm gonna kind of change this question. I'm not loving the way that I've been wording it, and so I'm gonna kind of change it up. The original question is, could you change if you could change one thing about Walt Disney World or Disneyland, what would that be? And it's kind of a lot of people are ending up in one or two areas, which I
Yeah.
completely understand that
I've got an unpopular opinion on that though, I think.
and I want you to share that too, but I'm gonna go ahead and
Sure.
change the way I have this question. If there's one thing you could bring back or one thing that you could add to the parks, what would that be?
Street atmosphere. Bring it back. Bring it back in all of its glory. That's what's really missing. I listened to the other guys' interviews, and a lot of them has said pricing. Again, I said there's going to be an unpopular opinion, but pricing is where it's at because it's the easiest way for Disney to control the crowds and therefore control the guest experience. No one wants that shoulder to shoulder crowds. It's not fun. I've done that. I've spent, I've been in Magic Kingdom on Christmas Day when they've shut the park down, and you're 2 hours getting to the hub. No, that's not an enjoyable experience. So that's why we have the higher prices. But what I want to see is better value for the money that we're spending. And with that is the street sphere. That's what really Di- what set Disney apart from other parks in the past was that dedication to the guest experience through cast members and all those little moments that happen during the day.
I'm glad that you said that because that's my thing that I would bring back, and there's a lot of different things, and maybe at one point after I can get through volunteers and stuff, I'll sit down and kind of do a my own personal opinions and
Oh, for
answers
sure. I
to
think we'd all love to hear that.
these questions. But the streetmosphere is absolutely one of the things that if you ask me what's missing right now, it's that it's the characters and the main drag walking into Hollywood Studios. It's the all the different interactions that you would have in Epcot around World Showcase. It's the bands. It's all the things that that really plussed up the experience. That really they I wish they would.
Yeah, I've fingers crossed that with the new head mouse there, we're gonna see some changes along those lines. So
I would be surely welcome. So, how often these days are you getting to the parks?
usually it's once or twice a year, but this year it's looking like it's gonna be 4 or 5 times this year. So I'm glad I got that annual pass because I'm trying to take advantage of it
Uh,
there. So we'll see how that goes.
yeah, that's certainly it takes one excuse off the board for not going. So,
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I think yeah, the second part to that question is my favorite time to go during the convention. I don't love the crowds that come with the marathon, but I love seeing the guys. I chat with some of the guys every Saturday night on Zoom, and you join in sometimes there, Justin, which is great to see you. But everybody's welcome on those Zooms. Pop on in, say hi, but still seeing everybody in person, that's the absolute best. So
yeah, well, it's awesome, and so we know you've been to the DDCC and you've been to many of them. I don't know that you've been to all of them. I don't There's not a
nope,
lot
I
of us that
missed.
have been to all of them, just a few, but
Yeah, I missed the second one and I missed the 10th one. I started. helping Aaron organize, I can't remember if it was the third or fourth convention, but ever since then I've been involved with the planning for it. So really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Uh, And yeah, so this will be the 13th one, lucky 13 that I'm going to.
There you go. There you go. So, yeah, I'm gonna let's then talk a little bit more about DDCC, if you don't mind. Just I've been to a handful of them. I think maybe went to 1, 3, and 4, and then 10, and then I'm planning on coming back this next year.
Awesome.
So, if you could just give a little bit of insight into what people could expect or look forward to, and why they should really join if anything's holding them back.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the guys. Wherever I travel, whatever I do, it's the people. But it's this group of guys. We bonded so well over the years, but we're always open, always welcome for more people to join and chat. Sometimes that can be a bit intimidating to people. It's like, oh, you've known each other for 10 years. It doesn't matter. Come on in. You're more than welcome. Uh, the with the convention, it's funny, we'll be going over this on the weekend here. I'm not sure when this is going to come out, but we'll be
It
going
might
over
be a
this
couple weeks, so
then we'll already have gone over the
yeah.
convention itinerary and that. But it's so much fun. Come on in. We're shaking it up a little bit this year. One of the things I'm really looking forward to this year is that different guys are going to be organizing meals and that they're just going to say, you know what, I've got a reservation over at this restaurant at this time. I've got space for 8 people. Sign up if you want to sign up. So there's going to be a whole bunch of different guys taking the lead on that rather than having an organized dinner at every time. But there's going to be a few days there where it's going to be like that, which gives a real good chance for us to mix things up,
Yeah.
and get new guys involved and get to reconnect with other guys. We all kind of fall into our own little groups of people we tend to hang out with a little bit more. But I think this meal, different people doing the meal settings is going to be open up that opportunity to connect in with other guys that maybe you don't get a chance to talk with as often.
Yeah,
So
I like that. That gives different opportunities to mix things up. And some of the best times that I've had have definitely been at the meals, having you're sitting down, having a drink or whatever, and sharing stories from life, or just whatever, getting to know each other. and
yeah,
and so I wholeheartedly agree. The more the merrier. There's
for
always
sure.
room for more, because we all have the same. This one thing we have in common is that we love Disney, and we care about our families, and that's a common bond that we know we share. And
Absolutely.
we're all different in our own respects, and yes, there are some groups of guys that hang out. you know th- that's going to be when you get past five. That's going to be in any group and everything like that, but that doesn't mean
Oh, for sure.
that I don't really enjoy, you know, getting to talk to, you know, this guy over here that I haven't seen or heard from in 10 years, or,
Yeah.
it's fun to reconnect and just get to know different people.
Yeah. And this convention, it really brings a lot of guys together. Some of my best friends are DisDads that I've met at the conventions, and you just look at the history of things. Once the convention started, what that really helped kick off is not just the meetups at the convention or at Disney World, but there's been charity runs that guys have done. People have been to each other's weddings. You go in for a visit. I've Darcy and I were in a race this year to who can meet the most disdads in different cities in a day,
Nice.
kind of thing. So, it seemed like in 1 or 2 days, we each met 3 or 4 different dads, in different cities just with our travels. It's kind of fun. but it's really just a wonderful group of guys, and you'll find that, and you know, it wouldn't have happened without the convention. Online stuff is fine and dandy, but getting down and meeting the guys, really encourage you to come down if you can. You're gonna find somebody that you get along with, and you never know, you might meet one of your best buddies there. I guarantee you, you probably will.
For sure. It's something that guys don't talk about. Friends and meet new people. That isn't always the easiest thing for men to do, and
Yeah.
it's
Oh, it
it's
is. It's tough for us, particularly as we get older. We
yeah,
tend to get a little more curmudgeony, but really, it's a fantastic group of guys. We really are
for sure. Well,
very
I
welcoming.
mean, this isn't going to be out before the weekend thing, but for sure, we'll have to make sure we encourage people to watch that and get an idea so that they know. But I got one last question for you. If there's one interesting fact that maybe you've been keeping a secret, or maybe not keeping a secret, but if there's something about yourself that many of the other dads in the group might not know that you'd like to share, this is your opportunity to do so now.
Yeah, I don't know if there is. You get me talking, I tend to not shut up, so I will talk your ear off about things. I guess one fact would be I'm actually Inuit from the Arctic coast. My mom is Inuit, to my dad's from the prairies, so he's not. But yeah, so it's been an important part of my life for sure, and it's interesting to see the way things have changed in in acceptance for that. My mom's generation, that was oppressed. My generation was suppressed, but my kids celebrate it, and that is amazing to see. I just love seeing them get involved with the culture and learning things that I never did. I never had the opportunity to. So love
Love
seeing that.
love to hear. I thank you so much for joining me. It's been great to hear the insights and your feelings on Disney and the group and whatnot. I appreciate all you do for the convention and the group, and glad that you could come out here so we can get to know you a little better.
Yeah, thank you, Justin. Like I say, wonderful to see you bringing this back. Love it.
Great. And for any of you who are interested in joining me sometime, I will post periodically when I have time in my schedule to open up for interviews. Right now, it's not very frequently in each week, but I'm trying to get one or two slots each week, and my goal is to talk to every single one of you, and it'll take a while with over 500 in the group, but that's the goal. So. But for Terry, I've been Justin. This has been another episode of DisDad Intros.
See you real soon.
From the castle gates to bedtime tales, laughs on the road and the monorail. Meet up on Main Street or Epcot to raise a glass and clink, telling old trip stories over one more drink. DisDad Intros.